When you walk alone under the radar, the light above ensures no shadow can touch you. You've always felt different, never quite fitting into loud crowds or bowing to conventional rules. Maybe you shrug off small talk, follow your own rhythm, and value your inner compass more than anyone's approval. That's because you're a Sigma male, self-reliant, clear-eyed, and quietly unstoppable. But living outside the pack can feel risky. You wonder if those with dark intentions might slip in while you're focused on your path. Here's the truth: you aren't as exposed as you think. There's a force greater than gossip, betrayal, or secret schemes guarding your steps. First, know this. Your intuition isn't just a feeling, it's a signal from something bigger, nudging you away from people who'd use or hurt you. When you listen, doors close on toxic ties before they ever open. You'll lose relationships you once mourned, only to later see it as the best thing that ever happened. You won't blend with corrupt crowds because your soul rejects fake praise and backhanded loyalty. And when trouble brews, you stay calm where others panic, because peace isn't something you chase, it's something you're quietly given. You're built to walk through storms without collecting scars. Every betrayal sharpens your wisdom instead of your anger. Every lonely moment becomes a fortress where your spirit recharges. You aren't overlooked, you're protected. And that protection isn't about avoiding every hit, it's about rising stronger each time. Keep trusting your gut. Honor your solitude. Refuse half measures in relationships. You're a lone wolf with divine backup. Move forward knowing no evil can sneak past that. Number 1. Dream warnings. Last night, you weren't just sleeping, you were scanning the horizon for trouble. Ever wake up from a dream so real it sticks to your skin? You saw a friend's betrayal, felt the sting of deceit, or watched a plan crumble in slow motion. Most men dismiss it as stress or imagination, but for a Sigma male, these vivid visions are more than random neurons firing. They're dream warnings, spiritual previews of danger hidden in daylight. Think back to the last time you jolted awake, heart pounding, replaying a scene where someone you trusted turned on you. You felt unsettled all morning, maybe even reached out to a friend to check in. Then, days later, you uncovered the gossip, the hidden schemes, the betrayal you never saw coming, exactly like in your dream. Coincidence? Hardly. It was a divine heads-up, a notification from something greater, steering you clear of a trap. Your subconscious is powerful, but it's not working alone. There's a divine collaborator whispering through symbols, faces, and scenarios in your sleep. God isn't confined to logic or office hours, He uses dreams to deliver warnings you can't ignore. And because you've trained yourself to listen, not dismiss these visions, you spot threats before they materialize. Imagine walking into a meeting with a lingering sense of unease. You can't pinpoint why, until you recall the dream, the colleague who smiled too wide before turning away. You watch closely, catch the subtle shift in their tone, and adjust. While others walk into the crossfire, you stay 3 steps ahead, because you heeded the midnight memo. These dreams aren't entertainment, they're strategic briefings. They might be tangled in odd details, but their core message is clear: watch out for this. Journal them. Decode recurring symbols. Trust the patterns. Over time, you'll build a dream defense system that shields you in the waking world. So next time you wake from a gut punch dream, don't grab your phone or shrug it off. Sit with it. Write it down. Ask, what's this warning me about? In those twilight hours, you're not vulnerable, you're being armed. And that nightly download of divine intel? It's another layer of protection no evil can breach. Number 2. Innate discernment. It's like having X-ray goggles for people. You see the wiring behind every smile. You've noticed it 100 times, someone's words sound sweet, but you catch the flicker in their eyes, the real motive peeking out. Maybe it's a coworker praising your work while angling for your credit, or a friend offering help who really wants a favor in return. Most guys miss the fine print. You don't. That's innate discernment, and it's more than just a keen gut. It's a gift sharpened by something beyond biology. Imagine standing in a room where half the conversations are laced with hidden traps. Others walk in blind, stepping right into snares. You stroll through, nodding politely, but you already know which compliments are bait and which deals are poisoned. You don't need proof. You see the agenda in the tension between their words and their body language, the micro shifts in posture, the forced warmth that never quite reaches their eyes. That ability didn't come from self-help books or people management tricks. It's spiritual sight. Divine training you picked up by trusting your inner radar. Every time you followed that radar instead of social scripts, you strengthened it. Every time you ignored a sugar-coated lie and stepped back, you reinforced that spiritual muscle. Think back. The can't-lose partnership that felt off. Later, you learned the partner had a history of dumping collaborators when profits dipped. The charming networker who showered you with attention until you realized he only called when he needed an introduction. Here's the power of innate discernment. You don't get dragged into games you can't win. You don't waste energy untangling manipulation. You see the blueprint of others' moves and simply step around them. So trust that inner X-ray vision. When you spot the hidden hook, smile politely, and sidestep. You're not being cynical. You're being wise. Number 3, instant disinterest. You wave the red flag, and he just shrugs and keeps walking. Picture this: someone rolls out the classic drama, gossip, guilt trips, emotional blackmail. They flash the bait, a sob story, a promise of insider perks, or that familiar pull of obligation. Most guys take the hook, getting reeled into chaos and compromise. But not the Sigma male. He meets toxicity with a flat meh, as if the venom simply evaporated on contact. Here's why: his spiritual shield doesn't just alert him to poison, it neutralizes it. When a toxic person tries to rile him, their words land with the impact of foam darts. He feels the attempt, sees the flicker of manipulation, but he doesn't respond with outrage, panic, or defense. Instead, he casually scrolls past, changes the subject, or quietly exits the conversation. That non-reaction is louder than any clapback. It says, "Your games don't work here." Remember the coworker who thrives on drama, the one who corners everyone with the latest scandal? He tried it on you once. You listened for a moment, saw the theatrical setup, then excused yourself to grab coffee. They were left shouting after your back, bewildered. You were already steps away, calm as ever. Or think about the friend who constantly tests boundaries, dumping problems on you, demanding favors, then vanishing when you need support. In the past, you might have felt guilty and stayed late to help. Now, when you sense that energy, you offer a polite, "No can do," and move on. No guilt, no frustration, just peace. That's instant disinterest, and it's more powerful than any argument. Toxic people feed on reaction. Their fuel is your attention, your anger, your need to fix things. Remove the fuel, and their engine dies. They leave confused and deflated, wondering why you're immune to their tactics. This non-reaction isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's knowing your time, energy, and peace are worth more than engaging in cheap theatrics. It's trusting that something greater has your back, so you don't need to fight every battle. So next time someone waves their drama flag in your face, practice your best shrug. Let them flail. You're moving on, because real strength isn't in fighting every snake, it's in refusing to get bitten. Number 4, the divine alarm in your gut. It hits like a fire bell ringing in your chest, no smoke needed to know there's danger. You've felt it 1,000 times, that moment before shaking someone's hand, joining a meeting, or entering a room when your insides suddenly tighten. A silent whisper screams, "Watch out." This isn't anxiety, it's your personal divine alarm, wired to a wisdom beyond logic. Imagine radar that detects not metal or motion, but intent. It picks up hidden agendas, the slick slide of manipulation, the venom barely concealed behind polite smiles. Most people miss these signals, drowned out by social noise. But for you, a Sigma male, they blare loud and clear. No evidence needed. No confirmation required. Your gut knows before your mind can catch up. Think back. The person you instinctively avoided, only to later discover their betrayal pattern. The opportunity you walked away from that collapsed under its own deception. That gut scream wasn't paranoia, it was spiritual radar doing its job. When it sounds, you don't debate it. You act, stepping back, pausing conversations, declining offers. To outsiders, it may seem abrupt. But you know the difference between risk and recklessness. Here's the brutal truth. Most people rationalize away their intuition, blaming stress or mood. Then they wonder why they're drowning in toxic cycles. Not you. Your intuition is a sacred gift, a direct line to divine protection. So next time that chest tightening hits, don't apologize. Don't second guess. Move. In a world of hidden traps, your gut isn't just a feeling, it's your ultimate safeguard. And it never lies. Number 5, when enemies destroy themselves. Watch the vipers strike at each other. By the time they notice you, they're already bleeding out. You've seen it play out, the hallway whispers, secret group chats, hushed calls that cut off when you approach. Just as their schemes tighten around you, the trap implodes. Allies turn to accusers. Plots unravel. And you? You barely lift a finger. This isn't luck, it's divine sabotage. Remember. The colleagues who spread rumors, only to expose each other's corruption days later. The rival vendors who conspired against you, until one betrayed the group mid-deal. Their jealousy, ambition, and cruelty backfire every time. Why? Because your protection isn't passive, it's active intervention. God stirs the storm, ensuring lightning strikes them instead. The lesson? Don't obsess over enemies. Don't waste energy on retaliation. Stay authentic. Let their own venom destroy them. While others get caught in crossfire, you walk forward, untouched, unscathed, unmistakably protected. Invisible hands dismantle every trap before it snaps shut. Your only job? Keep your soul clean and watch the universe handle the rest. Darkness can't touch those who walk in divine light. Number 6. Uncanny synchronicities. Ever have a thought that feels half dream, half command, and then the world hands you the answer on a silver platter? That's the magic of uncanny synchronicities. For a Sigma male, he's wrestling with a problem, maybe a work puzzle, a personal crossroads, or a creative block, and out of nowhere, the exact insight he needs pops up in his movie playlist, a random article, or a stranger's offhand remark. It's too precise to be coincidence. It's a nudge from something greater, aligning the universe to his wavelength. Picture this: you're stuck on how to pitch your idea. You jot down 3 options and pray for clarity. Later, your favorite podcast plays an interview where the guest outlines the very structure you sketched, point by point. You rewind, jaw dropped, heart racing. That isn't your imagination playing tricks, it's divine alignment saying, here's your blueprint. Or maybe you're questioning a relationship. You catch a lyric on the radio that describes your exact dilemma. You pause, scribble it down, and later realize the songwriter captured what your mind couldn't articulate. Suddenly, your path forward is clear. Here's why it matters: most people dismiss these moments as flukes and keep grinding in confusion. But the Sigma male recognizes them as signposts. He collects these synchronicities like breadcrumbs, following them toward solutions that would have taken weeks of overthinking to discover. These alignments don't just solve problems, they build faith. Every time you see your inner voice echoed back by the world, you learn to trust that inner voice more. You realize you're not lost in randomness, you're on a curated journey. That confidence becomes a self-fulfilling cycle. You pay attention, you receive more guidance, you move with greater assurance. So next time you catch that perfect line in a book, that timely metaphor in a movie, or that offhand tip from a stranger, stop and lean in. Recognize it as more than a neat coincidence. It's the universe, or God, orchestrating your steps, bridging the gap between your mind and reality. In those electric moments, you're not alone in the maze. You have a guide dropping hints in plain sight, leading you exactly where you need to go. Number 7. Evil people fear him without knowing why. They step into your orbit, and suddenly their lies sound hollow, as if you see right through their masks. You don't have to raise your voice or throw a punch to make predators retreat. You simply walk in, calm and unassuming, and something in the air shifts. The schemers, the backstabbers, the hidden agenda crew, they sense a spotlight they can't switch off. They fidget, hesitate, and often back away without a word. Here's why: most people broadcast their value through noise, flashy cars, loud opinions, social media posturing. You, as a Sigma male, operate differently. Your worth isn't shouted, it's quietly anchored in something deeper than appearances. That solidity creates an invisible X-ray around you. You don't need to interrogate or confront, your stillness does the job. Imagine a coworker plotting behind your back. They slip into your office, smiling sweetly, then deliver a thinly veiled insult disguised as feedback. Instead of reacting, you simply nod, thank them, and return to your work. You don't look rattled. You don't argue. Yet after you leave, they glance at your empty chair, feel that void, and their own guilt echoes louder than any defense you could mount. Their plot loses momentum because the power to terrify you was never there. Or think about the stranger at the party who tried friendly manipulation, testing boundaries, fishing for weaknesses. You answered politely, then drifted into another conversation. They noticed. Their questions dried up. They moved on to someone easier. Without a word, you sent a message: I'm not your target. That's spiritual armor. It's not about being unkind, it's about being untouchable. When evil people sense you're guarded by something they can't bribe, threaten, or outwit, they fold. Their strategies collapse in mid-breath because they're playing a game you're not even in. So don't try to prove you're untouchable. Don't broadcast your defenses. Keep your calm, your confidence, and your faith. Let your presence be the shield. When those with dark design step near, they'll feel the barrier and retreat, because some forces can't penetrate the armor of a man who knows his worth is protected by a power far beyond their schemes. Number 8. Peace that defies circumstances. You can't stir still water, it remains smooth no matter how hard the wind blows. Picture this: deadlines collapse, alliances fracture, and crises erupt all around you. Coworkers shout, phones ring off the hook, and social media lights up with panic. Yet there you are, shoulders relaxed, breathing even, eyes clear. To everyone else, it looks impossible. But for a Sigma male, this unshakable calm isn't an act. It's proof he's protected by something greater than the chaos. When the project derails and everyone scrambles to point fingers, you don't join the blame game. You lean back, survey the wreckage, and ask the one question that matters: what's next? While others are tangled in why, you're already mapping solutions. That stillness isn't cold detachment, it's focused energy reserved for fixing what truly needs fixing. Think back to the time your closest friend unleashed a flood of criticism out of nowhere. Everyone expected you to fight back or crumble. Instead, you simply nodded, thanked them for the feedback, and walked away. Quietly, inside, your mind sorted truth from spite. You absorbed what mattered, discarded the rest, and used it to grow. The friendship survived, stronger and more honest, because you didn't react in anger. Or remember that family emergency that had everyone panicking, relatives running in circles, advice flying like shrapnel. You stayed at the center, calm as a still lake. You coordinated help, made clear decisions, and refused to let fear dictate your moves. To you, panic was a luxury you couldn't afford. Your peace became the anchor everyone else clung to. This level of calm isn't earned by meditation apps or pep talks. It's born from knowing you're covered by a power no storm can breach. When fear and doubt try to creep in, you feel a deeper reassurance, a whisper that says, "You're safe. Move forward." That confidence quiets the noise, stills the internal storm, and lets you operate from a place of clarity. So the next time the world around you erupts, pay attention to your response. If your heart stays steady and your mind stays sharp, know this: your peace is a signpost. It marks the boundary where chaos ends and divine protection begins. In that calm, you're not just surviving, you're mastering every storm that dares to rise. Number 9, missed connections. Sometimes rejection isn't cruelty, it's divine protection in disguise. Ever been close to starting something with someone, maybe a new friendship, a romantic spark, a possible partnership, and for some reason, it just doesn't happen? The vibe is there, the timing seems right, but then they stop texting back. Plans fall through. Life gets in the way. You tell yourself, maybe I blew it. But what if you didn't? What if that silence wasn't random? For Sigma males, these so-called missed connections aren't just awkward moments or failed timing. They're spiritual fire drills. They're divine red lights flashing just in time, stopping you from stepping into emotional quicksand. At the time, you don't always see it. You're disappointed, maybe even frustrated. But later, once the fog clears, you see exactly what you were saved from. That woman you almost dated? She seemed charming, deep, maybe even the one. But a few months later, you hear how she tore someone else apart: jealousy, drama, mind games. That friend you almost partnered with on a project, the one who ghosted last minute? Turns out he was taking shortcuts, cutting corners, and eventually tanked his own reputation. And you? You're not caught in the wreckage. You're not healing from wounds you never had to take. Why? Because the connection didn't happen, not because you weren't good enough, but because you were too aligned, too protected, to be dragged into a storm that wasn't meant for you. It's easy to be hard on yourself when doors close without a reason. You replay what you said, what you could have done better. But instead of asking, why didn't this work out? Start asking, what did I just avoid? Missed connections, for the Sigma male, aren't just life being unfair, they're hidden blessings. They're God's way of saying, I saw what you didn't. Trust me. So the next time a door shuts in your face, don't bang on it. Don't chase it. Walk away with peace in your heart. Because sometimes, the most powerful form of protection is disconnection. Number 10, he loses people he wanted to keep, and that's a blessing. Some losses feel like heartbreak at first, until you realize they were divine surgery, removing what was poisoning you quietly. Let's be honest, losing someone you genuinely cared for cuts deep. Maybe it was a friend you trusted, or a partner you thought would be there for life. They meant something to you. You fought for them, overlooked things for them, and yet they still slipped away, sometimes without a real reason, sometimes without warning. But here's the truth: Sigma males eventually figure out that not all losses are setbacks. Some are sacred redirections. You didn't just lose that person, you were delivered from them. A Sigma male doesn't attract just any kind of people. He draws in complexity. Some are genuinely good, but others are drawn to his calm strength for the wrong reasons. They want to control it, feed off it, or chip away at it. They come disguised as lovers, close friends, even family members. At first, everything feels right, but slowly, the cracks start to show: the disrespect, the manipulation, the emotional games. You see it, but your heart wants to stay. So, God steps in. And when he does, it can feel brutal: a breakup, a betrayal, a sudden distance. It feels unfair. It feels cruel. But it's not. It's protection dressed as heartbreak. You wanted them to stay, but God saw the knives they kept behind their backs. You tried to forgive their patterns, but he saw what they do once you let your guard down. That silence you sit in now? It's not emptiness. It's a clearing, a space for better people, real ones, to show up. You don't always get an explanation. Some exits come without closure. But every time someone leaves your life and peace replaces them, that's your sign: you were rescued, not rejected. So the next time you lose someone you wanted to keep, don't just ask, why did they leave? Ask, what was I being protected from? Because in the life of a Sigma male, even heartbreak has purpose, and even pain can be grace in disguise. Number 11, he doesn't fit into corrupt circles. It's like wearing a suit to a mud fight, you're never going to blend in, no matter how hard you try. You've been there, invited into a circle that looks shiny on the outside, full of promises, fast success, easy connections, mutual backscratching. You step in, hoping to find camaraderie or opportunity, but almost immediately, something claws at your gut. The laughs feel hollow. The compliments sting like they're laced with poison. You realize the closer you get, the more you have to compromise the one thing you can't trade, your integrity. That's the Sigma male's secret superpower, he simply can't fit into corrupt circles. Not because he's arrogant, but because his soul is allergic to rotten foundations. He senses the hidden ledger of favors owed, the whispered side deals, the backroom handshake sealing someone else's downfall, and he recoils. Where others see clever networking, he sees chains snapping around the neck. You might try to play along, smile at the right moments, nod at the right lies, but it never sticks. You feel itchy, restless, as if your skin is crawling. That discomfort is God's warning light, telling you, this isn't your tribe. And so, you step back, perhaps awkwardly, perhaps with questions. People may call you difficult, uncooperative, too rigid. Let them. Because fitting in with crooked people isn't a badge of honor, it's a trapdoor. You won't hear it clicking open, but you'll feel the drop when it's too late. Deals made in shadows always demand payment in pain. Loyalties built on convenience vanish when the storm hits. Fake praise turns into sharper knives. Instead, you walk away. You keep your word, even when it costs you opportunity. You speak the truth, even when it makes others uncomfortable. You choose solitude over compromise, authenticity over advancement. And in that choice, you prove something powerful, you're protected. God won't let you sink into a pit you refuse to climb into. So the next time someone invites you into a too smooth scheme, notice the itch. Honor it. Because you were never meant to swim in that swamp. You're built for clearer waters, where integrity flows and real allies surface. And that, Sigma male, is divine protection in action. Final words, you're never walking through darkness alone. Your steps are guided. Your path is secured. You've seen the signs, that gut alarm that screams before danger arrives, the doors that close just in time, the unseen shield that lets slander roll off your back. You feel the pull away from toxic circles, the divine interruptions, the synchronicities that light your way. These aren't random perks, they're proof you belong to a higher playbook. As a Sigma male, your strength isn't in overpowering others but in moving beyond their reach. Your calm in chaos, your unshakable worth, your sacred solitude, they're all badges of someone under divine guardianship. Remember, every missed connection was protection. Every moment of peace was a gift. Every nudge of intuition, a beacon. Keep trusting that inner compass. Keep honoring your solitude. Keep walking with the quiet confidence that whatever schemes swirl around you, you're already steps ahead, because you're watched over by a power no evil can breach. That's not just survival. That's transcendence. And it's yours by design.